Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hard Nine podcast. Today is February the 26th. We are officially 32 days from opening day, but we are 2 games deep into the spring training season.
Yeah, pitch clock making a big difference in the timing of the games. I mean, today kind of felt like a drag, and it was still only like 2.5 hours of a game.
Yeah, since you went right into that, before we get to the other stuff, what are your thoughts so far on the pitch clock?
I like the pace of play. That I do like. I think it's been good. A lot more balls in play. I really do think that was a big thing in the minor leagues. Less people were striking out. So I do think that has been something I've noticed, but also there's some ironing out to do. I think I'm under the impression that maybe the first couple weeks of spring training and maybe the first couple weeks of the regular season, it's going to be rocky a little bit. But once people get used to it, it won't be a factor, I don't think.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I still am not a massive fan of them doing it late. I understand it, but we saw it already happen where a game ends with that. I don't like it. I understand the rule, but the rules are new. I don't like when there's that much of a pressure situation late in a game, especially we're talking that the only way it happens is bases loaded, 2 outs, or unless it ends in a strikeout, whatever. I just don't like a game ending in that situation.
It was a spring training game, so who cares? First off,
Yeah,
so that's one thing. But also, that guy has been playing in the minor leagues. He knows the rule. He knows how to adapt to it. That's on him. I don't get why we're looking at it like that guy was an idiot in that situation. Get in the box.
Yeah, I understand. Like I said, I think it's going to take a little ironing out. I like it. I think the 2.5 to 3 hour games are good. It is. I saw Gary Sheffield Jr.'s tweet today about how it's kind of funny that we're trying to speed up the game by slowing the game down by stopping it if we get to 15 seconds and then having to start it all the way over again. So not necessarily maybe speeding it up there, but I do think the pace of play is good. There's going to be some ironing out, like you said. I think in the long run, it's not going to be a bad thing, and it's going to be one of those things that we're just kind of become used to. I think. Also, I think Mike Godar said something about this on one of our comments, and I agree with him. I do hope they put it on the thing, kind of like the shot clock in college basketball. So as a fan, like I know they said it will not be obscure or you won't be able to see it from the center field cameras, but I would like to see it on the thing where they have the score. You think that's going to be on there for all year?
No, it's on there now.
Okay, I only watched a little bit of yesterday's game. I didn't get.
It was on there
today.
Game, so it was in the middle of the plate. It was it was hardly visible, which I liked because I don't want to be looking. I don't want it to take away. I don't want to be distracted by it. But it was there if you wanted to see it. So that's kind of what I think it should be. Because I don't want to be like the shot clock. I don't want to be staring at it all the time, to be honest.
But it should be on the graphics.
It's so seamless that I don't even worry about it. I don't want to even worry about it. Get the ball and throw.
I get it, but I still would like to see where it is.
I don't want it to be distracting.
An interesting thing. It's not.
I don't want it to be.
The shot clock's not distracting. When you watch a basketball game, are you distracted by the shot clock? I'm not.
No, but you're very aware of it. I don't really want to be aware of it. I want the pitchers to be unaware of it.
I'm fine with being aware of it.
I don't want to. I want them to get used to it and not for me not to have to worry about it. Throw the ball.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. As a fan, I'm kind of interested in watching it. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't want to watch it. It stresses me out. It really does. It gives me anxiety. I don't like it. Like no one was taking a practice swing, and I was like, "You got 2 seconds, or that's strike." That's a strike.
Yeah, it was of all people for it to happen to first with Machado, which like he said, I think there's going to be a lot of times I'm 0-1, which I do think there are a lot of players who are like, well, that's fine. That's where we'll start then.
Big 28 hours for Manny Machado, huh?
Yeah. Shout out to him. 4th richest deal in Major League Baseball history.
Yeah, and it makes his deal, 15 years, 450 overall?
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty good payday for him.
Not bad at all. They've got him locked up. They've got Bogarts locked up. It's gonna be interesting. Tatis will be back to spring.
What can go wrong
soon? It'll be interesting to see. I assume Juan Soto is not going to stay in San Diego. I don't know how they would have.
They want to sign him, but here's and we don't have to spend much time on this because that's not really what we're here to talk about. But in 5 years, they might suck bad. They could. Yep. They could be good if those players age well, but if they don't, Yu Darvish's gonna be 43 throwing for him.
Well, but shout out to Manny for getting paid. That's the big thing. He deserved it. I'm glad that he didn't have to go to free agency. He can just go play in San Diego. Seems to love it there. I mean, why would you not? It's San Diego, like of all places to live.
And they're trying to win 100 million as much as anybody.
Yeah, pretty good spot. So, yeah, so that's good. Pitch clock. Manny Machado. Cardinals are 1-1 on the spring training. What have you seen that you like?
I've seen Moises Gomez. I think he's impressed. Jordan Walker today. We're gonna get into him later. He was very impressive, I thought, today. And some quotes that just came out from Skip Schumacher that aren't doing anything to do what we said last time, which is tamper expectations, because he just said some things that are gonna send people like ready to run through a brick wall. About Jordan Walker. And I thought Waino looked fine. Miles looked really good today, I thought. Jordan Hicks looked horrible, but I don't care. Nothing really, nothing really.
No, it's 2 days. I was sort of saying that jokingly, but people are up in arms because Waino's throwing 85 miles per hour. Bro, it's like it's 2 innings.
This is every spring he does that though.
I don't understand what are you this is what you're worried about already. I don't get it. The fine. Jordan Walker tank was unbelievable today, but I didn't get to see it. We were busy today.
Let's talk about that later.
Yeah, that's fine. So we wanted to kind of finish up as we'll get to Walker, which we talked about last week. We kind of want to finish up our hitting player profile. Now, no disrespect to Andrew Kisner, but we're not going to get into Andrew Kisner. We know that Andrew Kisner is the backup catcher. I know that Herrera did leave the World Baseball Classic to be a spring training. I still believe let's be honest, Herrera needs to be playing every day. Let's keep developing that guy. He's only 22. Let's get him down there. There are people on Twitter who want him to be your backup. That makes absolutely 0 sense right now.
It's not going to happen.
It makes 0 sense. It's not even a logical thought. So let's get him to play every day, and let's keep doing that. Now, with that being said, there are 3 guys that we kind of wanted to lump into one because we think there's some interesting stories here, and that's Juan Yepez, Moises Gomez, and Alec Burleson.
Yeah, the depth, I would say,
correct.
And I think Juan Yepez is going to probably have a bigger role than the other 2. So we'll start with him. But I also believe all 3 of those guys could end up being in the middle of your order at some point in time in the year. That would not be out of the question for any of the 3.
No, and I do want to make it clear. Sorry, before you get into it, we're not doing this out of we think they're lower tiered players. They're just 3 guys right now that we don't like. We don't know what their roles are going to look like yet. We do believe Yepez is going to fight for that DH spot. He might get some outfield time. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. But with Burleson and Gomez, we just don't. They're just kind of the unknown right now. I had a buddy actually text me today, and he's like, "I think we have too much depth." and that's what we've been talking about. It's going to play itself out. It's 162 games, but it is sort of, when you look at it, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. So we'll start with the guy that hit the only home run the Cardinals hit in the postseason last year and drove in 2 of the 4 runs or however many they scored, 3, was Juan Yepez. I think I almost feel bad we're not giving him his own episode, but I don't know. What do you expect from him? He had a great year last year. He slugged over 450, I believe, as a rookie, and went on some hot streaks. There was a stretch where he carried the offense. He slugged 447. Was 11% above league average as a rookie, 12 home runs, hit 28 home runs or 26 home runs, something like that between AAA and the big leagues last year. I think we just have a really good hitter on our hands.
Right. You talk about that slugging. That's after slugging 586 across 2 leagues in 2021 and then going to the Arizona Fall League in 2021 and slugging 640. I do believe, and I was going to say this about him, I almost feel like he's nobody's talking about Juan Yepez. It feels like. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying those conversations are not there. But it feels like he is either they've got him locked into a role or he's going under the radar again. We saw when this guy was playing a lot, he can flat out hit. There is no doubt about it. He hasn't necessarily what you would say hit at every level. But guys, remember, he was drafted at 16. Let's not forget about that. Right? He's still very, very young. 23. Is he 23? I think
he's 24.
Okay. Either way. 24, my apologies. Very young. We saw that obviously latched on to Albert last year, which, hey, if you're going to latch on to anybody, that's probably a pretty good guy to latch on to. And, we saw that pay off. Him hitting that bomb against Philly, we thought was going to be one of the greatest. He was going to go down in Cardinals legend just with that home run right there. but I do think he was in third today. I mean, that might tell you a little
Yes.
something. It might not. I mean, it's spring training. That
I
might
think they
not tell
just
you anything.
I think they just said
But
he's playing first base, so we're putting him in Goldie's spot.
I mean, it could be. It could very easily be that way. But I do think you're right in the fact that you said we've got a guy who can flat out hit from the right side of the plate, and it's going to be interesting to see how they use him. We know the deficiencies in the outfield with Juan Yepez.
He shouldn't play outfield.
But we do know that
I don't think he should play outfield.
That's neither here nor there. That doesn't mean he's not going to.
They have too many good options in the outfield. We're talking.
So then you're looking at just a flat DH with Juan Yepez or playing
that might
first
be
base.
Who he is.
If it could be if Goldie DHs, Goldie needs a day off. But I do think you have to get Juan Yepez at bats. You have to get him. I don't know the number. If it's 300 at bats, 400 at bats, I don't know that number. 250 at bats, but I do think you've got to get him at bats.
Here's the hard thing. I'd rather give Nolan Gorman those at bats because I think what he can do for your team from the left side is more impactful than what Juan Yepez can do for your team because he kind of they have enough right-handed power. We agree on that. If they have one area covered, it's offensive power from the right side. And that's not to diminish what Juan Yepez can be because I think he can be an everyday DH that has an OPS well over 800. I think he can do that. The problem with him is he's not a split guy. He's not a platoon player, but you almost have to use him that way because they have so many other guys they like. It's going to be tough to give him every day at bats, barring injury / drastic underperformance from guys that I think they're depending on.
I agree with it. I think you're going to have to pick and choose spots with him. Thursday day games, Sunday day games, potentially. Really hard left-handed batter or pitcher. Sorry, really hard left-handed pitcher that you don't want to have. You want to have as many right-handed bats in there as you can. I still think there's room for him to get 200 to 300 at bats in that kind of role.
Oh yeah, it sucks because I don't know they have to do it. I guess that's a bad way to say it. They don't have to platoon him because I do think I could see a time where he's your everyday 5 or 6 hitter. That could happen. He could do that because he has that ability. I just don't know what they're going to do. They have so many guys that they want to play, so many. And Juan Yepez doesn't seem to be at the highest pecking order, but at the same time, they trusted him enough as a rookie to be a DH, which is not easy. Right. And to come off the bench in a playoff spot, and he hit a home run. He made their the risk they took, and he rewarded them for it.
He was in the outfield in game 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah, game 2. In game 1, he came off the bench. He should be.
Oh, that's right.
He should be a part of this team. I told him in some form or fashion. Do you think there's a way he's an everyday player?
No, I don't see it. Now I don't. Not when.
Not when Gorman's not hitting?
Huh?
What if Gorman's not hitting?
I again, this is the bow out for the conversation that I've been trying to figure out for the last 2 weeks when we've been doing these player profiles. I think it all boils down to one guy. And we talked about him on our last podcast. Because here's the thing, if Jordan Walker breaks camp with this team, you still have Nootbaar, Carlson, and Tyler. Do you think Juan Yepez gets regular at bats over those guys? So let's say I'm saying if Nolan is struggling. Do you know what I'm saying?
If Gorman's struggling?
Yeah.
It depends. If Dylan Carlson's not going to DH. So if Dylan Carlson was the one, it's just tough to talk about. There is a world, though, where Nolan Gorman struggles and Juan Yepez gets most of the DH at bats. That is a possibility in the season. I think what I've seen from Nolan Gorman so far is, it's very early, obviously. He looks really good. He made a great play today at second base, and he had 2 hits. He looks really, really good. So I'm not saying I think it's going to happen, but I do think there is a lane for him to sneak his way into the lineup and play most days. I do think that's a possibility. How likely it is, I genuinely have no idea.
Yeah, me neither. And it does just feel like Juan is there. And I'm not saying this is fair to him or fair to anybody else, but it does feel like he's like their fail safe. He's their fallback option that they can always use because they know that they've got him sitting there if they need him. And I think he's a big
not,
weapon.
Maybe he's not. Maybe they're
you're right.
planning a bigger role for him.
And again, we are 2 days into spring training games. So it's not they have a much better idea of how they want to use him. We have no idea how they're going to use him yet. That's going to play itself out. I think he's going to get a lot. I think like Walker, like Gorman, like those. He's going to get a lot of at-bats in spring training.
There's also a chance where Donovan's moving around a lot and Gorman's playing second base, and maybe Juan Yepez is DHing a lot. Like
Could be.
if he hits the way he hit at times last year, the way we know he's capable of hitting, he'll play. He will play. We know that. And even if he's not starting, maybe doesn't have his name in the lineup, he'll get in the game. Like he will, because people are going to come in with lefties against Gorman. Like that's going to happen at some point in time. He will get his at bats. I don't know. What do you expect from him when he's playing? Let's just say he plays 120-ish games. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not the case, but we have to say something because we don't know how much he's going to play. I expect him to be around an 800 OPS, to be honest with you. Maybe higher. I think his high end is way higher than that. And I think he's going to hit home runs. I think he's going to hit doubles. And I think he's going to be a consistent hitter that's always a threat in your lineup when he's in there.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm ready to say he's an 800 OPS guy yet. Because if he is, he's probably in your
year?
He was 743.
Okay.
742. I think he's more of a 750 guy. Here's what I'm going to say then, dude. If he has an 800 OPS, he's going to be playing way more than we think. That's what I'll say.
It just depends, though. If you're giving him a lot of at-bats against lefties, and that's most of the time he's playing against lefties, I mean, that's not unrealistic for him to 800 OPS against lefties.
So do you think then he takes on that 2022 Albert first half of the season role?
I think as of right now, if we broke camp today, I do think that would be his role. Yes.
Okay. All right. I could see that starting as like, and we've talked about, it's funny because we say this with so many guys. Here's what we think, but who knows? And I still do believe the number one domino is still Jordan. I still believe it's Jordan Walker. I think whatever happens with him they play in 32 games, 32 days. They play their first major league game, a home opener. We'll be there. Toronto will be in town. 3 p.m. start. Clydesdales. Everybody else will be awesome.
Will be there, probably on the mound.
Wearing number 0. Love that, by the way. But I honestly still believe that's the domino. Like that's the lead one that's going to determine what everybody else does. I really, and it sucks. Like I feel like I sound like a broken record half the time. But I do believe that it's going to come down to Jordan Walker because then everything else falls into place. That's the way I look at it.
It's so tough. It really is so tough because I believe that Juan Yepez can be a good to great hitter in this league. Like I do believe he can be that. But is he going to get the opportunity to be that in St. Louis? I don't know. And I think as we get on today, because we're talking about 3 guys that all 3 are highly touted. They're all 3 incredibly talented players. And they're all offensive players, both are like offensive minded, not really defensive minded players. It's setting up for if the Cardinals do what we think they can do to be maybe one of the biggest trade deadlines they've ever had.
I think so. By the way, shout out to Matt Adams. That's why we have Juan Yepez.
Hey, Matt Adams is back. He's playing. He played against us yesterday.
Is he in the mind? He's on a mate because he played with that Kansas City Monarchs Independent League last year. Really?
He's in Washington. Got a
love that guy.
Yeah, I
love that guy. He was our guy today. He was our pitcher.
He played against us yesterday.
I missed that. I only watched 4 innings yesterday. We were in and out. But oh God, completely just lost what I was going to say, and it felt like it was going to be something good.
You want to go to Alec Burleson? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Let's do that now.
What are your expectations for Juan Yepez? Because I gave mine. You didn't give yours.
A 750. I think he's a 750 OPS guy. With a ceiling higher than that. Does that is that fair? Yeah. And I just think it depends on how many at bats he gets. If he can provide the kind of if he can do what Pujols did in the first half last year against lefties, that is an incredibly valuable asset to have on your team. That's what I'll say. Yeah. If he could do, I'm not saying he can't do better. He can. I'm just saying if he does just that for the first half, I'm not saying the Albert run there I'm saying that first half. If he does that, that's an incredibly valuable person to have to give Goldie a day off at first base, to be a late inning guy that comes in to hit against a tough lefty, to be a guy who can DH against tough lefties. I think that is an incredibly valuable tool. And I'm with you. I believe that he could be an everyday player somewhere. I just don't know that it's right here in St. Louis.
I think it can be. I think they're going to give him an opportunity to prove that he can do that. I do think they will. I just think he's one of the more consistent young guys. I feel like I know what I'm getting out of Juan Yepez damn near every at bat. Like, I'm not saying I know he's going to hit a home run, but I know he's going to give you a professional at bat more times than not. And he's very consistent with his approach, with the way he goes about his business. So I do think he can be way more than what we're giving him credit for. And we could look back in August and be like, this guy is one of our better hitters.
Agreed.
But it's just going to be, like you said, it's just going to come down to opportunity with him.
Yeah. And also, I feel like you're a little biased because you're so close with his dad.
I'm not close with his dad. We've had a few interactions. You want to get to Alec Burleson?
Hold on, stop. You've had multiple conversations with Juan's dad. I think it's awesome. I wasn't saying that like as a ha ha ha. I think that's really cool. He seeks you out, and you talk to Juan's dad quite a bit.
We've had a couple conversations, but
you've had more than a couple. Stop.
Okay, but I don't know what you want me to say right now. I don't know what
you and Omar are best buddies.
We're not. Let's go to Alec Burleson.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Again, we go back to the lead dominant. It's almost like when you knock the cards down, you had them all set up or whatever. He's the big one. Like, he's the one that knocks it off. If Jordan Walker makes this team, Alec Burleson is at AAA. We know that, right? Because you have your 4 outfielders. They're going to keep 13 pitchers. They're going to keep 13 hitters. That's done, right? So that means 4 outfielders. And if Walker's here, we know who the 4 outfielders are. This is all without injuries, obviously. But that means Alec Burleson is at AAA. If Jordan Walker is at AAA, do you think Alec Burleson is the guy that they're going to be looking at to be your 4th outfielder here in St. Louis?
Yeah, I do. Maybe, I don't know. Moises Gomez is going to try and force his way on. But Alec Burleson made a great diving play today, which was cool. It's hard for me to envision a future with Alec Burleson being an everyday player for the Cardinals.
Because of the depth of the organization in the outfield.
Because I think they have about 6 guys I'd rather give a chance to.
Okay. Would you rather give a chance to Moises Gomez on a daily basis than Alec Burleson?
No, I don't think so. But I'd rather put Donovan in the outfield and Gorman at second than play with Burleson every day.
Over Alec, really?
Yeah, I would. I would rather see what those two can do.
He's hit at every level. He hit in college.
Yes.
I mean, obviously undrafted out of high school, went to East Carolina. He pitched at East Carolina. Shortened season, doesn't play for 2020.
So bad.
I mean, he's drafted in the summer of 2020, doesn't play, and he's all of a sudden in the bigs in 2022. That's a fast track to the bigs there.
He's a great hitter.
Yes.
At some point, you got to make a decision, though. Like, you can't have 25 hitters.
This is my buddy Johnny's text. We got way too much depth. We've been talking about, you and I've been talking about this on the show for 4 months now. That we like, what do you do? We still don't know. Do you think Ollie knows what he's going to do?
No, I don't. I do think that I guess he could be. I think he's going to be an everyday starter with some team. He's good enough to do that. He really is. He's a great hitter. Go look at his stats. One of the best hitters in the minor leagues last year. The best hitter in the minor leagues for the Cardinals system last year. He was over Jordan Walker. He was better than Jordan Walker statistically. Okay, statistically, not peripherals, not stardom. He was better statistically, offensively. What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. Dylan Carlson was that guy too. Okay, Lars Dupar was that at the major leagues in the second half. Okay, Tyler O'Neill was that an MVP candidate in 2021. Brendan Donovan was a Rookie of the Year candidate last year. Nolan Gorman was a star at times last year. Then you have 2 superstars at the corners. Tommy Edman had a 7 WAR. Like, I don't know what to tell you here. I don't know. He's a great hitter, but so is everybody else.
You look at 2021, his first professional season. He slugs .454 across 3 leagues and has a .783 OPS. And then he comes back with 2022 and he slugs .532 and has a .905 OPS with 230 total bases. Like,
it's a higher OPS than Jordan Walker had.
I mean, can we just think about this really quickly? Like, just think about I'm not going to go too far back, but just think about Tommy Pham, Randy Arozarena, Adolis Garcia, Lane Thomas, who's starting and leading off in Washington. By the way, you and I have always been big Lane Thomas fans. Dylan Carlson, Tyler O'Neill. Granted, we got him in a trade at AA. I understand that. Harrison Bader, Jordan Walker, Moises. I mean, we're talking. These are all within Alec Burleson. That's all within 8 years.
Yeah.
7 years. Like, we like I said last time, we want to trash the Cardinals for not drafting and developing. But if you look at
Well,
that,
who
that's
trashes
10.
them for that? We don't do that.
No. When I say we, I mean, I'm sorry, as a whole fan base, right? I have questioned them in the past. There's no doubt about it, because like where are all these, and we're not even talking about Grichuk and Piscotty in the past, but that's 10 major league guys right there
Alec Burleson is just a straight
in
up
the
hitter, dude.
just in the outfield, by the way.
Yeah. Alec Burleson is just a hitter. Like he doesn't walk. He doesn't hit for a ton of power, but he has some. He's gonna bat. I mean, I don't know. He could bat 300 for you. He can do that. I don't know. What do you do? I don't know how you get him at bats, because I'm not playing him over Nolan Gorman. I'm just not going to. He's definitely not playing over Brendan Donovan. He's not playing over any of the 3 outfielders currently slated to start, and he's not playing over Jordan Walker when he's up. So I don't know what you do with the guy.
Yeah, I mean, again, another guy. He's only 23. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing for him to go back down to Memphis.
It's for him.
It's
like
not.
He conquered it already.
I know. I agree.
If you're him, what do you have to prove?
And not very small sample size, but he did struggle in his 18 games up here. Very small. I'm not saying that. That's how I'm saying. I'm just saying at 23, not a bad thing for him to get every day at bats instead of being a number 4 outfielder here. But he might, again, it all comes down to Jordan Walker. And then, like you said, who we're going to talk to about, I mean, it kind of all falls together with this, which is why we put them all together. Then what about Moises Gomez? Like, what if he takes, what do you get, 30 some home runs and
39.
39 home runs last year
record
in the minors.
I think he's had a franchise record in the minors.
And he has 39. Saquon quads.
I don't know what they do with these guys. I can't believe a trade wasn't made. We got into the offseason and said, hey, like, you picked the right guys, but you've got to do something here. There's too many. And now we're looking back, not that many people were traded, to be fair. There wasn't that many. Obviously, we know the Sean Murphy ask was unrealistic, and I like Wilson more anyway. I'd much rather take that side that they went with. And then a lot of people, Pablo Lopez, I wasn't too high on him anyway, and we didn't have a batting champ to give up. So I don't like, I can't critique him for it because nobody was really moved. They didn't need Dalton Varsho. That wasn't a move that needed to be made. And they also weren't going to trade Gabriel Moreno because they didn't have him. So I don't know what they do, but I don't know how, like, if you say you're Alec Burleson or you're Juan Yepez, what if Juan Yepez is sent down because maybe Moises Gomez earns a spot? Or what if you're Moises Gomez? You say, hey, I just hit 39 jacks and I'm in AAA. You got to start getting pissed off, right? Like, hey, move me or play me, but I've got to. I want to make no money
They're
down.
23 years old.
Okay, stop. Hold on. You're making no money when you know you should be making $700,000 because you're good enough to be in the league. You're not getting a chance to show who you can be. You're blocked by 7 guys potentially that are in front of you in the pecking order. And even if you go down and Moises Gomez hits 40 home runs again, is that proving to them anything they don't already know about him?
Well, don't you think? I mean, I understand as the player, I would be what you're saying, right? I understand exactly.
Yeah, I mean, think about how much money
you look at Burleson and Gomez, 23. I think they turned 24 maybe this year. Either way, whatever. Still very, very young. At worst, they're playing every day at AAA, and those are if they replicate what they did last year. All right, it come close to it even. If they replicate what they did last year, it does 2 things. One, we know injuries are going to happen at the big league level here. You got guys ready then to come up. That's great. That's what you want as an organization.
Great for the organization, no doubt.
2, you get to the trade deadline and you need to address a starting pitching or a relief pitching or whatever it might be. We don't know. We don't have the little crystal ball to tell us. But now you have pieces that you can do that are guys that, like you just said, no, we know that if you're making a trade at the trade deadline, 98% of the time you're dealing with a team that is either in rebuilding mode or blow it up mode. So a guy like Moises Gomez, a guy like Juan Yepez, a guy like Alec Burleson, and I'm not saying Yepez falls into that. I'm just saying those are guys who are going to go to a major league club and start immediately August 1st.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying, and I would be wanting to play too. But man, when you're looking up at Jordan Walker, Tyler O'Neill, Dylan Carlson, and Lars Nootbaar, I mean, we have to be realistic. I don't know that, and I'm not saying they can't be those guys. I'm just saying, I don't know if they're going to get the chance here in St. Louis to do it.
It's almost impossible to give them the chance. There's not enough at bats. Like, there's just not. And you look at it
because you can't platoon everybody.
No, and you shouldn't. Like you shouldn't
Right,
platoon
agreed.
Donovan. You
Agreed.
shouldn't you're not platooning Nolan or Goldie. You're not
No.
platooning Tyler O'Neill. So
Right.
then Jordan Walker's not getting platooned. That's not going to happen. So
That's what
what
I'm
do you
saying.
do? I don't know
And
what
also,
you
like
do.
we said earlier, they've expanded to the 26-man roster over the 25. That's gonna be an extra pitcher. You're gonna carry 13 pitchers, especially early on. So here's the thing, right? And all of this leads us to the one guy that we said we weren't going to talk about, but we sort of do need to talk about, because Paul DeJong going to be one of those 13 spots? We know that Kisner is, right? So you've got your starting 9, whatever that looks like. We've talked about all those guys.
Add Yepez on.
Add Yepez.
And
right?
then add Kisner. So
And
that's already 12. Not 11.
That's 11. And then also add one of your outfielders. That's 12.
Yeah, so add Gomez, any one of Gomez,
Whoever,
Burleson, or Walker.
But and if the answer is it's Paul DeJong at 13, then that means so what I'm saying then is two of those 3 guys, Walker, Burleson, this is all barring no injuries. Walker, Burleson, and Gomez, 2 are going to AAA.
Yeah, we're all 3. Walker's up.
Unless somebody becomes open for trade that you had no idea was going to be open for trade during spring training, and which almost never happens.
Here's the thing. Paul DeJong is guaranteed a spot for multiple reasons. One, you're either going to bring up a less proven backup shortstop. Like, why would they do that? Or two, you're going to have to, if you wanted to cut bait on him, you can't send him down. He's out of options. So you'll have to DFA him and eat the money. And I don't know why you eat the money on him and bring up somebody that's less proven at the big league level than Paul DeJong is. That wouldn't make much sense to me. He's going to be on the roster unless he's like, for the next 50 at bats in spring. Like, that's probably what's going to happen. So I don't know.
How do you use
I don't
him?
know.
How do you
use a backup
use
shortstop? How do you use every backup infielder to ever live?
How
do you use Greg Garcia?
Okay, hold on. What I'm saying is you've got a guy in Brendan Donovan who can also be your backup shortstop.
But he's an everyday starter. He's not a backup shortstop.
I just that's 2 of your 13 offensive spots that are really essentially dead in Kisner, and because they're only going to play once every 5th day.
Yeah, there are teams that have 2. They have 2 of their starting 9 spots dead offensively.
You're right.
So you're mad about the 12th and 13th man that aren't going to play.
It just sucks that one of those players can't be Moises Gomez, Alec Burleson.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It does suck that Moises Gomez can't play shortstop, but I'm not going to watch that happen.
No,
so
that's not
this
what
is the place we're in. And if Tommy Edman were to get hurt, knock on wood, hope it doesn't happen. But if he were to, and Paul DeJong is no longer on the team because you cut him, and then now, you can say Brendan Donovan's playing shortstop. Fine. What happens if he has a problem? Then you don't have a shortstop.
Yeah, so and we can focus on Gomez's 39 home runs and what Burleson did at ECU, but it really doesn't matter. It just comes down to, like you said, there's only so many at bats. And so what you and I literally have been talking about this since November. And obviously that there was no, like you said, there weren't a lot of big deals. I know people were pissed about them not spending money. They weren't going to go get for, I mean, I would have loved that, but they weren't going to do that. They were going to go get those guys, and they weren't going to give out an 11-year deal. So the hope is maybe at the trade deadline, then you've got something, unless something odd that we're not used to pops up in spring training.
Yeah, and I mean, these 3 guys, the thing they all have in common is they give this organization a level of depth I want to almost say they've never had. Almost. I don't know if they've ever had it.
I mean, since the 80s, maybe.
Like, so what does it mean? I don't know. We are talking about Moises Gomez, and we haven't even said yet that he's batting 750 in 4 play at bats. That doesn't mean much, but every ball he's hit's been over 97, and he's hit 3 over 105. So I don't know what that means, but I know that it means he's hitting the ball fucking hard. Like, does that mean he's going to continue doing it? I don't know.
Hey, I do not want to be on. Let's just say Moises Gomez does this for a while. All right.
Hope he does.
I'm not saying he hit 750 all spring training. All right. But let's say he continues to hit balls above 98 miles per hour regularly when he hits them.
Which he has done his whole career.
Can you imagine the loud outcry when they said when this comes across the ticker? Moises Gomez sent to Memphis. Paul DeJong makes opening day roster. I understand. Can you?
I mean, yeah, but that's just how roster construction works. Well, if Moises Gomez keeps doing that and Yepez isn't doing it, then there's no reason not to. I don't know. I don't know.
No, that's
because even then,
hey guys,
even
thanks
if Moises
for tuning
Gomez,
into today's episode, where all we told you was we don't have a fucking clue, one idea.
Even then, even if Moises Gomez out hits Juan Yepez, I trust Juan Yepez to be a better hitter at the major league level. I just do.
Because we haven't seen Moises.
And I know Moises Gomez.
That's all I'm saying.
Hold on.
We don't know.
We do know that Moises Gomez struck out 40% in the minor leagues. We do know that.
Yeah, we do.
Was that going to go down in major leagues? Maybe, but what, to 38%? Juan Yepez isn't going to do that. He's going to strike out 25 to 30%. No, not even 30, about 25%.
20. Yeah.
No, above that, above 20.
20 to 25.
Around the 24,
right.
25% mark. Like, that's that. I mean, without a shift, that's also going to matter. But at the same time, if you believe Moises Gomez, because I think right now, if you give him every day at bats, you say, hey, you're playing every day, and you don't bench him for any reason, he's probably hitting you 30 home runs. Like, I would almost Moises Gomez, he'll hit you 30 home runs. If you play him every day, he will do it at the major league level, I think, right now. Now, like, do you take the chance and just say, go hit me the 30 homers? I have to DH spot. I don't know. Do you? I don't know what to say. I don't.
We were doing so great until we got to Dylan Carlson. Like, we were really rolling with what we knew was going to happen. And then we got to Dylan Carlson. It's like, well, maybe. And then we got to Jordan Walker and like, well, he kind of holds all the cards, pun intended. And now we're to Yepez, Gomez, and Burleson. It's like, we don't fucking know.
Imagine being Dylan Carlson, walking in and seeing, like, or not even, I don't want to single out him out. Carlson, Nootbaar, O'Neill, Burleson, whoever. Walk in and look at Jordan Walker and you're like, well, like, hey, you seem like a good guy and, you're really good. But if you come out here and do what you've done your whole career and your whole life, I'm out of a fucking job. So can you please just not? Like, because
Did you see the picture of him standing next to Stubby?
Yeah. He's huge.
That was right. That was pretty good.
So
he did go yard today, by the way.
He did. How do we wrap this up before we get to Jordan?
I don't have here's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to be honest. I always try to be honest. I do not have an idea of what's going to happen because, again, we have 4 weeks of spring training. We have the World Baseball Classic. Knock on wood, we don't have any injuries and we get to the regular season healthy. But I think it's going to be one of those things where you're going to get to see a lot of Burleson this spring. You're going to get to see a lot of Gomez. You're going to get to see a lot of Yepez. You're going to get to see a lot of Jordan Walker. So I do think those things are going to sort of shake them out. But I said to you last time, what do you do if they are all fucking awesome and Tyler is in Canada and Lars is in Japan and they haven't been with it? Like, what do you do?
Well, those two have priority, obviously. I don't think any of those three
do they? Is Lars? I don't know.
Hold on. But yes, they've refused to trade him for multiple people, so the answer is yes. I don't think any of those take Jordan Walker out. Okay, I don't think the other three have any chance in hell of being above O'Neill or Nootbaar in the pecking order. They have no chance.
Okay,
I don't even care what they do. They could bat 600. I don't think they're going to be above either of those two in the pecking order. They just won't. Like, at some point, like, spring training is awesome and it's fun to watch guys hit long home runs and dream upon what that means. But let's be honest, it really means nothing.
Yeah, that's
I've
fair.
seen Paul DeYoung do it too many times.
So if you were to ask me what my expectations were for those guys, because we've talked about, I don't have any.
I think that might be the right answer, is to not expect anything and be happy with everything you get.
Yeah, boom.
If it's positive. Boom. I think Gomez is an X factor, though. I think more so than and that's not, no, Yepez is the X factor. It's Yepez. That's the guy out of these three that I think is guaranteed. I think he's going to make an impact on the team consistently throughout the year, is Juan Yepez. The other two, I really don't know. I think Yepez still very much has a prominent role on this team.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. I think we solved it. Hey, Ollie,
no, we didn't.
We got it.
Because I don't know what that role is. I just know he has one. So
right. All right.
I think it's a DH, I would assume.
You wanted to talk a little bit about Jordan Walker before we get to the next couple things.
Yeah. So obviously you guys are probably watching. I put my phone away, so I found this.
You guys are probably watching. What else would they be doing?
I said we're probably watching. Keep up, Junior. You guys were probably watching when Jordan Walker took Johnny Cueto.
Oh, okay.
Let me talk, for fuck's sake. Shut up. We were probably watching.
Hey, chill, Caleb. Let Mike cook.
I'm going to leave if you don't shut up. You were probably watching when Jordan Walker took Cardinals nemesis that we all hate. At least I do. I'm assuming most people do, if you're a Cardinal fan. Johnny Cueto, 430 feet to left center field. I mean, he hit that ball. And obviously, I wasn't sure, like, if it was going out when he hit it. But then I heard Chip Carey say, like, oh my God, like wowza, or whatever he said when he hit it. Like, he absolutely obliterated that ball off of Johnny Cueto. First pitch he saw. And the thing that was most impressive about that to me, he didn't do it off some slapdick, like last string pitcher that's in just to see if he can
Wearing number
stick in
92.
AAA.
No offense, by the way.
He did it to a guy who won. Johnny Cueto was fantastic last year for the White Sox, but also a guy that has a ton of pedigree, that knows what he's doing. I mean, it was a sinker inside, and he hit it out to left center. It was crazy. And then at his next at bat, he tops one to Gene Segura at third base, beats it out. It's like he was like 0.5 seconds or something slower to first base than Tommy Edmonds' average speed to first base. So like he's 6'5", by the way, not known for speed. And then he makes a crazy play at the wall off of Gene Segura that was almost a home run, where you're like, that's an uncomfortable play, and he just makes it look easy. So I mean, he one start, Dad, and he has done 3 of the most impressive things I've seen.
All right. There we go.
What do you do? Like, it's how is he I want to ask you a question. We've done this before, but I want to ask you, do you think Jordan Walker is the only one standing in Jordan Walker's way of being in the big leagues? Or do you think, name the 3 outfielders, do you think those 3 can keep him down? Or do you think he's the only one that can keep himself down?
He's the only one. I think he's the only one. I said that last time. I think the only thing that keeps him down is if he has or struggles in the spring and maybe shows he can't play the outfield. I think that's it. Other than that, he's in the starting lineup when we are in our seats on March 30th. And he's going to be in the lineup. That's my belief.
He hit a home run farther than any home run Goldie and Nolan hit last year. Yeah. And then he ran almost as fast as Tommy Edman in the same game.
And I don't know that people don't understand. I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence ever. But if you don't know, Roger Dean Stadium, one of the it's harder than Busch Stadium to hit a ball out of. If you watched yesterday, there were 3 straight balls hit like 98 or over 98 miles per hour.
104
Wilson to dead center. Who was the other one?
Newt,
and then there was one more. There was a third one. There were 3 in a row. One almost went out to left center. Either way, they all would have been out at Busch Stadium. 2 of the 3. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the win there is crazy. It's literally called getting deaned. That's what they call it when it happens. Like
Brand Donovan did go yard, by the way. We need to give him a little love.
Yes, he did. His swing is different. He changed some things. He looks really good. I mean, Donovan's such a stud, dude. He's one of those guys. He's playing every day. I don't even care. Like, set it and forget it with that guy. He's gonna be really good for a long time.
I agree. All right, a few other things.
That's where I'm at with him. There's no question. So
a few other things. Did you? Sorry.
I don't know. I know you didn't really watch much of it, but first pitch he sees as a starter in spring training. Yeah. Like, I don't think anything's going to stop this kid. I think he's just coming, and you just have to. Mason Wynn had an interview today. I wanted to say a couple other things on this. Mason Wynn had a quote today where he said, someone's just going to have to move out of the way because he's coming. He's going to get there. And then he said he's going to rival Goldie and Nolan for the best hitter on the team. That seems a little bit.
I love that, by the way. I love that.
But Mason Wynn said that. And then Skip Schumacher, I wanted to bring up this quote because, Skip Schumacher, the coach of the Marlins, who they played today, he said, for me, Fernando Tatis Jr. was the most exciting prospect in San Diego. And then I saw Jordan Walker, and that's pretty dang close to it. He's the next Tatis. And then he said, he does everything the right way. He shakes your hand the right way. He's a good kid. He's a special human. He's about as exciting as a position player I've ever seen in my career. The opposing manager.
I got goosebumps.
Comparing to Tatis, and then said he's one of the most exciting players, position players he's ever seen. Not prospects, position players. A guy who played with Matt Holliday and Albert Pujols.
I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this a lot over the next 4 weeks.
He's the only story, right? Like like if we were talking about it and we were doing a news show, a daily radio show, you're leading it off with that today.
Right.
Like, that's what you want to talk about. It's what people want to hear. He's living up to expectations so far. It's only been 2 games, okay? So if we can relax a little bit. But God, it was the first fucking time he started, he did it. Yeah. He didn't have any time to wait. He just came in and did it immediately.
Remember, like I said last time, his first professional at bat, first pitch, home run, 18 years old.
He's crazy, man.
So there is that. Couple other things I wanted to get your take. One, CB Buckner, Ollie Marmol. Thoughts? Go.
Those of you who don't know, obviously we'll go back to last year. I will, if you haven't seen it, I will direct you straight to John Boy Media. Look up Ollie Marmol and CB Buckner. There is a great video that tells you everything both of them said, and you can see how big of a I don't want to be that. Okay, how much CB Buckner disrespected Ollie Marmol. Should never happen, but it did happen. Yesterday, first game, Ollie Marmol. There's a fucking crew with Angel Hernandez and CB Buckner on it. We got that one, of course. Ollie Marmol goes up, shakes everyone's hand, tries to shake CB Buckner's hand. He refuses to do it and like looks at him, walks away, or whatever happened. And then the other three umpires apologize for his behavior, whatever. Ollie Marmol came out. He did not mince any words, I would say. He said he already knew how bad of an umpire he was, but now he just shows how classless of a man he was. That's not direct quote, but those are the words he used, not maybe in that order.
Yeah, you paraphrased him. And he told Derek Gould to put it all in all caps.
Yeah, he said put it in all caps. Like Derek Gould showed him it and said, you want me to put this out this way? Do you want to clarify anything? He said, no, put it in all caps. Yep. So he meant what he said. They're looking at now. MLB's investigating the situation, which there should be no investigation. He should be fired.
He's one of the worst umpires in Major League Baseball.
That's not even a thing either.
He's been one of the worst umpires in Major League Baseball for years, and he just continues to somehow make $250,000 a year in that area. Probably.
But do you want to be honest, Ed?
I don't get it.
The problem you should have with this has nothing to do with his ability as an umpire. We know that's bad.
It's a human.
But not even that. It should not even just that. That takes the integrity of the game into question. If you have a guy who's not willing to shake the manager's hand, what happens when he blows a strike call in the regular season against the Cardinals? And I mean, but I'm just saying, if it's egregious and he blows it and it costs the Cardinals the game, why would it not run through everyone's mind that he just fucked them on purpose?
Nope, I agree.
It will. He should be fired. And I'm not even. I don't advocate for people losing their jobs very much, but you cannot have the integrity of your game called into question over an umpire who's not even good at his job. You just can't.
Yep, I agree. Well, you know, most of you watching, listening, whatever, you know my thoughts and feelings on Major League umpires. There are some good ones out there, but they are overshadowed by the majority who are very bad at their job.
It's not the majority. That's not.
It is. It is.
It's not. That's unfair. And then not to CB Buckner's category. And that's not.
No, I agree. There are levels. Sure. Don't get me wrong.
Let's be honest. They're doing a job that's meant for robots. Okay. Yeah. No human is able to do that job.
I agree.
None. Okay. So that's not. But this problem goes way beyond that. You cannot have umpires beefing purposefully with managers 6 months after something occurred.
Wilson Contreras said the Cardinals are a better organization than the Cubs. Go.
Well, one, he's right. Like, that's objectively correct.
Yeah.
But two, the guy came out and said, hey, I want the other team not to like me. Okay, he said that. That's the first thing he said. One of the first things he said as a Cardinal. Okay, so we'll take that, put that in the back of your head. Two, he wanted to be a Cub. They refused to sign him. Put that in the back of your head. Now mix those things together, and this is how you get him now wanting the Cubs to hate him. And that's what he's doing. And he's doing it perfectly. We haven't even played a regular season game yet. He hasn't even returned to Wrigley, and they already hate him. So he's doing it beautifully. This is what he wants. He wants that fire. I think he wants to feel like the Cubs are against him, like the Cubs fans no longer like him. It's like what Michael Jordan did, right? He wanted that extra edge, even if he was manifesting it himself. That's what he's doing. And I think.
I'm okay with it.
I love it. That's what you should. I love that.
Before we get to the mailbag and before we get out of here.
Wait, do you have anything to say about it? That was
no, nice. I love it. I love this kind of stuff. You know that. I love the digs. I love the little comments that are, hey, maybe he meant him this way, maybe he didn't. He didn't even do that. He didn't mince words. There was no ambiguity there at all. And I like the ambiguity where you could say, that's not what I meant. But you did. You know what I mean? Here he just said, the Cardinals are a better organization. Love it.
Do you have a feeling there's going to be a situation against the Cubs and the Cardinals in a game where there might be a confrontation?
Absolutely. And
he's probably going to be the one that starts the confrontation.
No, I think he gets hit.
I don't think they're going to hit him on purpose, but he does get hit by pitches a lot because he stands on the plate. I don't think they're going to throw at him. Like, that'd be weird. Like, if you're a pitcher, that's your catcher. Like, a lot of them have really good relationships with him. I don't think he's breaking that. I would assume a lot of people still have a lot of love for Wilson Contreras there. So I don't think you're just going to hit him.
That's fair. I don't know that I agree with it, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't expect that to happen, but it might.
Let's get to the hard nine bag before we get out of here.
Okay.
All right. Just a few things. We won't spend a ton of time on. Oh, this is a good one here. Blake, your boy, our guy Blake. I will pronounce the name. You stay away from Blake's name because he's been one of our we love Blake. Like, shout out to Blake. I still want to see a Field of Dreams game between the Cards and one of the three teams: White Sox, Cubs, or Milwaukee. Minnesota's a fourth. I think you put the Reds into there also, but we definitely agree that how are the Cardinals? Like the Cardinal games are blacked out in Iowa. Like they should be playing a Field of Dreams game there before the Yankees. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah,
I don't
fair.
really have too many thoughts on the Field of Dreams game. They're stopping it for a few years to do some renovations. I don't know. It's a cool thing. I'm glad they're doing it, but I kind of think they should have stopped after one.
Mark Haynes, Carlson is the odd man out. He has a ton of talent, but with Walker moving up, Carlson will be on the trade block. That's gonna. I mean, we don't know, but I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong.
But I wouldn't act like it's a foregone conclusion.
Ryan Graver, favorite Cardinals podcast, Hard 9-1, 590 The Fan, and Locked on the Cardinals. Like you said, I think you replied to him. That's really good company. Thanks, dude. We appreciate that.
Yeah, those are a lot of. I mean, there's obviously a lot of really great shows on 590 The Fan. So
absolutely. Daryl Dixon, I think Jordan Walker will definitely get called up this year. I guess it just depends on how good he plays in spring training. I think we all are in 100%.
It's given health, he's getting called up at some point in time.
He also said, what is going to happen if Young has a great spring training? I mean, could he seriously be our starting shortstop? And I think I replied in a word, no. They've done that. They've gone down that train. Paul DeYoung will, if he makes the team and does not get traded during spring training, which Caleb, I'm in agreement with you. He's going to be on the team. He will be the backup shortstop. That's it.
Yeah, he's not starting. You didn't have these ready?
No, I thought I did. I did.
Screenshot them and put them.
Well, dude, okay. This is one of my favorites. Chad Hirschman. For Caleb to sit back and take the decoration criticism from Pops. Mike has one picture on the wall. Just saying, that's a very fair comment. That's a very fair comment. I actually appreciate.
That's why you moved.
His attention to detail. No, I moved because your mom wants to teach in here. But if we do notice, the Beatles are now in the background. I'm in a much better room with much better lighting and maybe much better sound. We are trying to figure out here in this new house how to do everything. We started in here, moved there. Now this is way better. But the Beatles are behind me, so all's good, Rich. But by the way, I do appreciate you seeing that. Steve, your guy, Steve. Hilarious. He said something about watching the Walker thing, and then literally right after he commented, we had said it. But he said, "Don't forget, we only got Walker because of COVID." And he's like, "Oh, you guys just said that and addressed that." So yeah, we did say that. Also, I just wanted to mention, and I'm not going to throw out anybody's name. We did get a really deep comment, I guess, on our thing about a week ago. Thank you for that, for the listener and the viewer who posted that. What you said was really, really nice. It hit home very hard. And we are really, really honored and glad that we can provide you an hour or whatever it is every so often, an escape, and also one of those things that makes you happy with the Cardinals. So thank you for sharing. We took it down upon your request, but thank you. And we would like to say thank you for your trust in us, but also thank you for tuning in. We greatly appreciate you.
Yeah, obviously. I don't really have anything to add. Like, I think you said that about as well as you can. Yeah, I think it's awesome. We're almost at 250 subscribers, which is really cool. Like, that's not a ton in the grand scheme of things, but for us, that's a pretty cool milestone. We just hit 200 like 5 days ago. Like, it's really been escalating quickly, which is cool. We have one hater, I think, that dislikes every one of our videos, but everyone else has been a lot of support, a lot of likes, which is cool. The comments have been
electric,
all positive since a Trevor Bauer video that we had to retitle. But other than that one, they've all been pretty positive. Yeah. So I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know about this.
I mean, we're having a blast doing it. We started this with zero expectations. Legitimately, it was just Caleb and I talking, and where it is now, we didn't think it would get here. Now I can't wait to see where it goes in the next 6 months, because I do think, thanks to you guys, we're heading in a pretty solid direction right now. So again, we tell you, please hit that subscribe button. Also tell a friend. A lot of Cardinal fans, Cardinals Nation, incredibly well represented out there, not just in the Midwest. I was looking at our stats today, like 95% of our viewers are in the United States. We're getting like 5% from around the world. So thank you guys for tuning in. Australia, Canada, England, all over Germany. Thank you guys. We greatly appreciate you. Cardinal baseball travels well. So when you're watching, tell your buddies, tell your friends, tell your kids, tell your wives, tell your husbands, tell both. I don't care. But we would love to have more, the merrier.
As we wrap this up, okay. Obviously, yeah, I appreciate all you guys that watch. As we wrap this up, sorry, it's hard to like add on to it when you say that. I don't know what to add on. It's difficult for me, but I do appreciate it. It's cool, and we wouldn't probably be doing it as often as we do if we didn't. If you guys weren't watching it, obviously. But I do have, as we move on, do you feel like, and this might be a question for after, I'm asking it now anyway, we're going to be transparent here. Do you feel like we said anything of note?
Yeah, I think we said what every fan, honestly, like, here's the thing.
I thought we could have just not done
you
this
and I
it would have been the same.
You and I are not media personalities. Well, I'm never going to be. I know you're in the journalism school. That's what you would like to do eventually. You will. But that's not, like, we are fans. That's why we started this. These were our discussions on our couch before, during, and after every Cardinal game for years. These were our discussions. So I think we said what almost every fan probably watching is saying as well. Because, and honestly, if they think otherwise, and this is no shot, but if they know otherwise, they're just making a guess. Because we don't, when it comes to guys like Yepez, I'm gonna throw Gorman in there too. I think my beliefs on him.
I think he's a level above them.
I do too. But when we're talking about, we don't know, Gomez, Carlson, there's 6 guys on this team right now that I think are 4 of them are going to be on the major league roster, like come opening day. Again, sans injuries, but we just don't know what roles are going to look like yet. And honestly, Caleb, I'm going to be very transparent with you here. I don't know that we're going to know for maybe a month into the season.
Yeah, and also it's interesting because spring training sets don't mean that much. You know what I mean? So if Gomez goes off and Yepez doesn't, does that mean Gomez has done enough to overtake a guy that hit your only home run in the postseason and was a big part of your offense last year? I don't think it should be. Like, how are they going to decipher that? They say all this competition. I get it. 100%. Have to earn your job. Well, it's the big leagues. It's also spring training.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is Ollie has said you're going to play, you have to hit. Yeah. I think it might be as simple as that. I really do.
And then Yachty was hitting every single day.
Well, fifth.
Yeah,
but
okay,
hey,
let's get out of here.
Here's what I would say. My final words before we get out of here. I'm excited to watch the spring training. I'm excited to watch the WBC. I've been watching the hell out of college baseball. Love it. I'm excited to have it. We have the MLB package now, guys. My suggestion to you, they're running a really good promo. I think we got it for like $95 for the entire year. You get every game, every spring training game for every team, and you get over 7,000 minor league games. I can't wait. I mean, if our marriage makes it through this season, it's gonna be, that's a shout out to us. We've done it for 25 years. What's one more?
Yeah, right. All right. Well, I would say it's awesome for the fans because spring training, there's always gonna be somebody playing that you want to see what they can do. So watch Moises, Gomez, Burleson, Yepez, Walker, Carlson, all these guys, because they're gonna get a lot of opportunity with the guys gone. And I don't know how much stock you put into their success in spring, but it seems like they're putting a lot into it this year. So I don't know. That's all.
Also, I'll say this: I watched 4 innings yesterday. Chip was good.
I
need to be fair.
I thought it was very enjoyable to listen.
Yep, Chip was good. So there we go. All right. When we see you guys next time, we will be going through the starting pitching, through the rotation, and go through that. Then I think we'll finish up with the bullpen, and then the majority of what we'll be hitting on is getting prepared for the regular season. Soon, guys. Soon, 4 weeks from Thursday, opening day. If you haven't got your tickets, get them.
Hopefully, by the end of these profiles, we have a better idea of who's making.
I think we will.
The team, what their roles are, and we won't be just saying who the fuck knows, because that's what we've been doing.
As always, guys, thank you so much for listening. Hit that subscription button, hit that little bell, that little notification. We appreciate that. Tell a friend. We greatly appreciate that. Have an amazing week. As when you're watching this, it's Monday. Have an amazing week. Watch a lot of baseball. Enjoy the weather. How's the weather up there? Down here it was 85 degrees today and sunny, and it's going to be that way for the next 10 days.
It was 30 yesterday, 55 today. So
yeah, I think it was like almost 70, 65 or 70 in St. Louis. So that's great. Where we are, it was, like I said, 85. It's beautiful down here right now. So hopefully you can get out. You can enjoy the weather. You can watch baseball. I'm starting to catch spring fever down here. I know that much. Have an amazing week. Everybody stay safe. Take care of each other. We will talk to you soon. Go Cards.